Today's session is going to be really, really great. We have four guest panelists who are based in San Francisco and work in the Silicon Valley. And today they're going to share with us insights about careers in technology. I know some of you are interested in what's going on in technology, working in technology, studying something that's related to technology. So we wanted to ensure that you all had the opportunity to meet with people that work in the technology field and get to understand a little bit more about what it is they exactly do. So starting off, I'm going to let you know who we have on the call. So starting off from my very, very immediate left, we have Jessica. And Jessica is a marketing strategy and analytics associate with Salesforce in San Francisco. Then next to Jessica, we also have Nyemade, who is a product manager at LeanTask in Santa Clara, California. And then the two gentlemen that we have on the call are Utkarsh, who is a product manager as well at the same company as Nyemade. And then we also have Brad, who is also a software engineer at Salesforce in San Francisco. So you guys are free. All our people in us at St. Dominic's, maybe you can just say hi and give them a quick wave.
Hi.
Hi.
Awesome. Great, fantastic. So before we get started, guys, I want to pose a question to our students in St. Dominic's currently. I want one or a couple of you to give me 3 careers in technology that you know of off the top of your head. So maybe, do we have one student who has the bravery to come in and give us 3 careers in technology that they can think of?
Software engineer.
Okay.
Computer systems analyst.
Okay. IT what, sorry?
IT something.
IT something, huh? Anyone else there have an idea of any other career? Accounting computers. Okay, I think you guys had a really good try. So actually, out of some of those careers you mentioned, one of them, we actually have a software engineer. So Brad is actually a software engineer. So he's going to explain a little bit about what he does in his job. So the first question that I want to do, guys, is I'm going to address it to our panelists. And I want, if all our panelists could answer these 2 questions, that would be great. So the first question is, what does your company, and secondly, what does your job title actually mean? So maybe we can start off from Jessica and then end with Brad.
Yeah, so my company, it's called Salesforce. It's a software company. And basically, we sell software to other businesses. And the point of the software is the software helps other businesses with what they need to do to get more customers. And I am a marketing strategy analyst. So I do data analysis that's related to marketing. With the insights I get from my analytics, I can make strategy suggestions for marketing. And Brad is also at Salesforce.
Cool, thanks, Jessica. And over to you, Nyemade.
Okay, I work at a
a company. It's called LeanToss, and my role is actually a product manager. So the company as a whole, we work in healthcare systems, and we basically try to make hospitals more efficient. Make sure that they're using their resources in a smarter way. And my job is basically to figure out new ways to make their hospital run even smoother. So we come up with new features that actually make their understanding of how their hospital is running. We make more features to make that information much more clear to them. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
And I can add to that. So I work with Neemaday, and we work in different parts of the same company. And I also do the same job as Neemaday. I think what the job is really at the core of it is just being problem solvers. So you're kind of a jack of all trades where you do a bit of everything. But the most important aspect of the job, I think, is to take all kinds of problems that are structured or unstructured and to find solutions for them. So you can be dealing with directly with customers or understanding what your customers want, and then taking that and making sense of it and providing that information to some engineers that can then build a website or a mobile phone app or testing app that can help solve that problem.
Yeah, I can continue from that. As you know, I'm a software engineer. Our purpose, or software engineers, what their responsibilities are pretty simple, right? We get the product information and product details and requirements from the product managers who take care of all the requirements and basically give us concise details about what to be done. And what we do is we just translate that what to be done and build it using code. Right? We code on a daily basis. We just basically put the information and we basically make it happen and make it to a reality. And as Jessica said, I work with Jessica at Salesforce, and there's nothing to add there. We're a huge corporation where we dominate the enterprise to enterprise, where basically business to business transactions go through Salesforce, and basically we deal with high traffic and high customer interaction on a daily basis.
And Salesforce is a huge company, so how many people work for you guys?
There are about 24,000.
24,000 people. It's a really big company, and it's got offices all over the world, actually.
Great. Thank you so much for that information, guys. So just from having asked that question, there are a few words that came up, right? Neemaday came up with the word features. I know Jessica mentioned data analysis. Utkarsh, you mentioned problem solving. And then from Bradford, your side, you also talked about enterprise to enterprise. So my question is, can you give an example of what you mean, Neemaday, by a feature? You said you work on creating features for the technology. Can you give an example of a technology, maybe Facebook or something like Google or WhatsApp, and what you mean by feature?
Okay, so I'll use Facebook as an example. So Facebook originally started out as, social networking. It was a way for people to communicate over the internet with their friends and their family or anyone else in their network that they might know. That was its basis. It pretty much was you posted something and your friends could see what you were thinking. And they started to add things on. And those add-ons are what we call features. So now Facebook today, you can do, you can video chat with people. You can, play games with people and share your scores and stuff. You can even I think you can send money through Facebook. There's a lot of other additional things that have been added onto Facebook. And all those add-ons, the video chatting, the ability to play games and stuff on Facebook, those are extra features in the sense that there are extra things you add onto a product that can actually make the product better and make it more useful for the people who use them.
Okay. So when you say product, you would say Facebook is a product? Is that what that means when you use the term
Yeah.
product?
So when I say product, I mean whatever the company is making. If you are a baker, you know, your product is bread. If you are Facebook, your product is actually this ability for people to network and do the social network interaction. So with every product, there's a way to make it better, right? If you are a baker and let's say you only make white bread, that's your first product. You can add an extra feature where customers can now make cakes if they want, or you can have people bring in will make other types of foods. Those, I guess, would be additional features you're adding onto your product. So every company typically has a product, and with every product, there's a way to make it better.
Great. And so now over to you, Jessica. You said you do a lot of data analysis. Is this data analysis tied to a particular product, or is it tied to the actual customer that uses the product? Can you explain what this term data analysis means?
Yeah, so the data that I work with specifically is marketing related data. So, you know, whenever a customer or someone goes to the Salesforce website, we have information on them. You know what time they went to the website. What did they do on the website? Did you click this and watch the video, or did you just come to the website and then you weren't interested, so you left immediately? So I look at that data and I look at trends and see if I can find anything interesting. So maybe in February, only like 1,000 people came to our website, but normally, 5,000 people come to our website. So what happened in February? Why was there no one coming to our website? So I look at that data, and my team, we help come up with ways to improve how we can talk to our customers. So maybe if no one's coming to our website, maybe something is wrong with the videos on our website, or maybe there's another problem. And then that's when I tell my manager, my boss, and then they try to tell people to fix something.
Interesting. So how important would you say data is to a company, especially a technology company, Jessica?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I think this being a data analyst is something that people will continually need, and that's because in the future, all companies will have the ability to see all this data and keep all this data. So sometimes if you can't see the data, then you can't do analysis on it. And so as more people have access to the internet, and then more people go on Facebook and find out about Salesforce, and they're interested in buying our software, that's when you get a lot of data, and then that's where you can have more insights.
Cool. And then over to you, Brad. You work you work in the same company. So in terms of features and in terms of data, do any of those elements matter to you as a software engineer? What is your interaction with those things, or is there any interaction at all?
So the thing is, there's very minor interaction there. So the thing is, you don't actively interact with them, because what I mean by that is, so the thing is, I'm talking about data, right? As Jessica said, data is very important for big companies, right? And the reason is, data is the point of contact between an enterprise and the consumer. So with the data they collect about you, they know for a fact that you want this particular product. Market that towards you, right? That's the purpose of data, and basically making money, how to make money out of data, right? And for me, as a software engineer, I have a small interaction with data side of things, because I know for a fact that every feature is built according to make more business value, right? A feature is made, or a feature is provided so that it provides a business value and it makes the business better or the product better. So though we interact with features on a day-to-day basis actively, data is dependent for the feature itself.
Great. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate that. Just wanted to understand what some of those terms mean. So now, just to take a step back, maybe Utkarsh, you could maybe explain to us, how did you kind of, going from high school to university, end up to go into technology, right? What made you decide to go into technology, and what steps did you take to get into a career in technology?
Yeah, that's a good question, Taku. So I actually went to high school in India, and in India, the model that we follow for high school is 10 plus 2. So you have 10 grades, and then you have 2 grades of junior college, and then you go to university for 3 or 4 years. So when I went to my junior college after 10th grade, which is kind of like high school in America, you actually have to pick whether you want to do technology, or if you want to do commerce, or if you want to do I had to make that decision. So I had to make it a bit earlier than most people do. And I ended up picking technology because my father works in technology. He's also a computer engineer. I always kind of liked technology in general. And the reason I picked computer science when I went to college in America is because computer science or coding is useful in almost any career that you would want to do at a later point. So I wasn't very sure what I actually wanted to do in technology. I just knew I wanted to do technology in general because I'm passionate about it. So I ended up picking computer science or computer engineering because it allows me to figure out what career I want to do in the 4 years that I was in college, while still adding some skills that I could use for any career. And then I actually ended up working with Taku at Deloitte, which is a consulting company that does technology consulting. The reason I chose technology, like I said, is because it was something that I thought I was good at, and also something that I feel passionate about.
Perfect. And I have a question for Fallon. Is Fallon there?
Yes.
Fallon, can you tell me 3 technology companies in Zimbabwe?
Astro. So one. Econet. Yeah, she's good.
That's good. Is Mavis there?
Yes.
Mavis, can you tell me a feature that one of those companies may have?
Okay, Econet has got Ecocash, which is a money saving, a money consumption.
Okay, so Econet Wireless, which is a big telco in Zimbabwe, they own EcoCash, right? And EcoCash is a mobile money company. So you're calling EcoCash a product, or are you calling EcoCash a feature? Raise with a show of hands, how many people would say EcoCash is a feature? How many people is that? Can someone count quickly? Majority.
Yeah.
Now I may have to give this question back to Nyemade. Would you say the students are correct in saying that a mobile money transfer company is a feature? Or is it more of a product, or is it more of an enterprise? What would you define a mobile money company as being?
If it's a mobile money company,
Yes.
what is it? What is their product? What do they make?
Can you students answer that question? What is it that EcoCash makes?
What does it do?
EcoCash allows you to send money to and from.
So I heard the answer there that EcoCash allows people to send money to and from one another using their phones.
So I'd say EcoCash would be the company, and that their product is the ability to send money between people. And a feature that might develop with that product is if you could now start, I don't know,
Chatting.
I'm sorry, shopping?
No,
Is that
chatting.
if you could also start chatting, you know, if you could have, you're able to now chat with the people who you send money to. That could be one feature that they add on. So that's like, it's like an additional part that you can add on to the product. So again, just to review, EcoCash would be the company, and the product would be the ability to send money to and from people. And an additional feature that it could have would be maybe being able to chat with people, like either voice chat or through text message or something.
Yeah, I can add to that. So as you know, Brad's a computer engineer, and computer engineers are the people that end up actually building technology products. So if it's a website or if it's a mobile app like EcoCash, the engineers are the people that end up building it. So the way I like to think of features is they're small pieces of value that engineers can create. So if you put a lot of them together, you build a product. So a product is a set of many features, right? So for EcoCash, if you can, for instance, if you want to pay your friend, if you can search for your friend on the app and you can find your friend, searching for your friend is one feature, right? And then once, and so if I'm working for EcoCash and I want to build this feature, I would think about what problem I'm trying to solve. So the problem that I'm trying to solve is helping one friend find the other friend by their name or by their phone number. And so that's what I'm going to create. And I'm going to pass that on to someone like Brad, who then actually goes and writes code that makes that happen on the app. So the features are the smallest things that can be transferred between people. There can be parts of a feature also, but that's how I generally like to think about it. It's the smallest piece of a product. And then a company will have many products. So a company like Salesforce has many, many different products. They have websites, they have apps. So a company then can have one or many products.
Now, is Gamchira there? Do we have Miriraishe there?
Yes.
Miri, I have a question for you based on the information that Utkarsh has just given us. She's what?
Just in.
Oh, shame. Okay, all right. Okay, what about okay, Danielle. Danielle should be around there. I think I saw Danielle just now. Is Danielle there?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, based on the information that Utkarsh has given us, Danielle,
Yes.
I want you to think as though you're Jessica. And Jessica handles data and she does data analysis, right?
Yes.
What could be some type of data that Jessica works with? Let's say Jessica works for EcoCash. What type of data do you think she would have to work with or analyze?
She would have to analyze the number of people who are actually using the product, which is our EcoCash sending of money. And then she'd have to see yes, she'd have to see how many people are actually responding to the new changes, and maybe she can ask for suggestions on Facebook and all those social networks, what people would like to actually have offered or added on to the EcoCash product, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I think that's a brilliant example of what I would do as a data analyst.
Yep.
Great job, Danielle. So now I want to ask another question. Do we have Kudzai there?
Yes.
Kudzai Saungweme. I don't know if I said it right, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so take this, right? Econet has a new product. They have a chat feature that they want to roll out, right? So let's say EcoCash wants to now allow customers to chat amongst each other. Or let's say, actually, no, wait, let's not say that. Let's say EcoCash now wants to provide insurance for its customers. Tell me, you now have Utkash and you know you have Brad, right? What is Brad's role going to be in terms of this new insurance product that EcoCash wants to deliver? What do you think Brad has to do in his job?
Probably don't advertise the thing.
What thing?
Since one of them is a marketing.
Sorry, are you able to come a little bit closer to the mic so we can hear your ideas?
Probably don't be advertising the insurance.
So you're saying Brad would be doing the advertising? So Brad is a software engineer. Do you guys agree that Brad would be doing the advertising for a new technology product?
No.
Okay, who can tell me what Brad would probably be doing for this new product? A volunteer.
I think Brad should create a software that or an application that will help people ensure their register for insurance online or via other ways instead of actually going where Brad is and registering it.
Brad, does that answer sound a bit? Please tell us what's your answer to that idea.
That's actually a really close. That's actually correct, right? So the way it works is, if you are taking the insurance example, right? So the way insurance works, so basically, before coming to creating or adding a feature of insurance, right? Jessica looks at the data of the transactions, as you said, and sees, okay, we need to make sure that we can make money from this, or bring value, and send this data to product managers like UV and MD. And what they come up with is, oh, we can add insurance to the product as a feature. And they give us details about the application, and we just code it up.
So a very interesting word you used there, Brad, was you coded up.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it means? What does coding mean? What types of languages are used in coding? Can you explain a little bit about what that means, coding?
So coding is nothing but creating something on the computer, right? And talking the computer's language. Computer has multiple languages, right? You can do Java. These are the normal languages where you can interact with the computer and say, behave in a certain way, right? When you have the details and the requirements from the product managers about a product or a feature, in this case, adding insurance to the mobile app, right? what we have to do is we talk to the computer and type it up in its languages, and essentially make sure that that is reflected on the computer itself as an influence part of it.
So let's say we have students right now, UV, that are in the audience and they want to study computer science, and let's say they want to learn how to code, but they want to start learning that now while they're in high school. What resources would you recommend they try and check out?
Yep.
So it's actually very simple to do this.
So there is a website called code.org. Right. They have multiple resources where they teach you from the small stuff of creating the simple to actual hard stuff. So you can learn from that. And there's also another thing called Khan Academy online. They have good classes about different languages, right? There are a lot of languages where a computer can interact with. Right? You can learn anything you want. But code.org is a perfect place to go.
And I mean, there's a ton of books out there too that can help you get started. I think the best way to learn how to code is to just do it. Right? That's, I think, the best way to actually learn how to code, which is find a book, find some YouTube videos, find a website, or find someone else that can code, and just start coding on it. Take small problems and try to solve them. Right. So the way I started coding is to solve very simple math problems. So, for instance, get the computer to print out the numbers 1 through 100. Right. That's a very simple thing that you would start off with, and then you can kind of build up from that to more complicated stuff, and eventually, you'll be able to put those small pieces together to make something really cool. But the best thing to do is to just start, jump in and start doing it. There's nothing like actually practicing writing code to be able to code very quickly.
Very cool. So I think unfortunately, we only have 5 minutes left as our students need to go for supper very soon. So I want to bring it up to you students. Are there any questions that you have for our panelists?
Yes. A question. Can you explain what's...
Before you speak, maybe introduce who you are, your name, what you study, and then ask your question.
I'm Anis Magongezi, studying math accounts and business studies. And my question is, it's not a question, but can you explain what coding is again? I didn't quite get that.
So the question was, can you explain what coding is again? She did not quite understand what you meant by coding.
Sure. I'll take this. So coding is basically a set of commands, writing a set of commands to the computer to react to. Right? Say, for example, computer. So the thing is, you type a set of commands and make sure that the computer executes that and essentially gives you results from it. That's the simplest version of coding, right? You're interacting with the computer by writing commands inside it.
So you tell the computer to do something using certain words, right? So if I want the computer to, for example, if I have a light on the computer, right, and I want to say make that light turn red, I would be able to tell the computer to do that by typing light red on or something like that, right? So it would be a combination of words that I can type into the computer that tells the computer what to do. So, for example, if I wanted to turn on the printer that's connected to my computer, or I wanted to turn on the keyboard that's connected to my computer, I could type in turn on printer, and that would actually turn on the device that's connected to my computer. So like Brad said, it's telling the computer what to do in the simplest possible way. So when you and I talk in English, or we talk in French, or we talk in something else, we use a lot of words that are very unnecessary, right? So you can, what I'm telling you right now, I could not say a lot of these words. I could only say a few of them, and still convey that same meaning to you, right? So instead of saying good morning, how was your day, I can just say good morning, day how, right? And that would have the same meaning. So that's kind of how you talk to computers. And I think they might be showing you an example of how
Yeah, so I can actually just show you something very simple. So one example you could say is, so I'm using R. It was the closest thing I had on my computer. And I could say something like X equals 6 and Y equals 10. And I can make a very basic calculator. I could just say either X plus Y, and it would print out the answer for me. So what Brad said earlier about code is used to basically, you can solve problems with it, right? And that's a good way to actually start programming. So if my problem was, I had no idea what 6 plus 10 was, I could actually say, hey, computer, tell me what the answer to that is. So this is a really like simple example, but it actually, it's a very simplified example, but it's a good start to kind of show you the kind of like problems you can address with computers. You can address way more complex problems than what I just did. I was just doing a very basic example, but that's just a small way that you can use computers to solve your problems.
Did that help you? Did that answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you. I have a question for Jessica. So to be a data analyst, do I have to be doing math right now or in university? Because I'm doing arts, divinity, history, and literature, and business studies.
Sorry, so what is the question?
To be a okay, I'm Danielle again. So to be a data analyst, do I have to be doing mathematics right now? Because I'm doing arts subject and business studies.
Okay, so I can talk about my background. So yes, in general, data analysts have to be very good at math. But as long as you can show that to the company you want to work for, it doesn't really matter what your college degree is. So I went to UCLA, but I studied economics and international studies, and I did not study math. But my math is just good by itself, but I didn't really like really hard math, because if you go to college and you study math, the math is really hard. So when I graduated, and I applied for the job that I have now, when I applied for the job at Salesforce, they gave me a test. And the test was to see how good at math I was. And I was able to pass the test. Just it doesn't matter what you study at college. And then I interviewed. I talked to my boss. I went into the office, and they liked me, so they gave me the job.
Thank you.
Asking the question.
Any other questions?
I wanted to just mention something really quick, that I think it's really important to know that even if you decide right now that you want to, go into finance or you want to study math, it's never too late to actually still go into another field. Just because you do one thing now doesn't mean that it stops you from going into something else. So you don't have to know everything right now.
Not at all. You can never stop learning, right? That's something that I've learned in life, which is you have to keep learning, no matter even after you're done with school, even after you're done with college, even if you're working, you should never stop learning, right? You should always be a student first. You should always try to learn new things, and that's what makes you better at work and also at life, right? It's you always have to keep learning, no matter what it is.
Okay? I mean, basically, knowledge is here, and all you want to do is make sure that your knowledge is as good as possible, and you gain as much knowledge as possible as you grow. So knowledge doesn't become static. You need to make sure that you learn new information as much as possible, so that you can stay up to trend and basically be relevant.
Thank you.
Great. Well, I think we've come up to our time now. As the students need to go and eat, and we want to ensure you guys don't say that we made you get hungry and die and all that. So I want us, firstly, St. Dominic's, to give a round of applause to our panelists and say thank you for coming on. We really appreciate your time, guys, in coming to speak to our students. Hopefully we'll have a follow-up session as well, maybe with the same panelists, and also have some folks from other companies as well that you guys can ask questions of. But I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed the session. And importantly, you guys have your assignments you still have not done. I think only 3 of you have done your resumes. Some of you need to submit your resumes. I think Mr. Mushawasha will discuss that with you guys. But we're going to have another session in 2 weeks' time, guys. So please bring the same attitude and energy, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Cheers, TK. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. All right. Have a good day.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.